So you let me know if this is you, right? Because it's definitely me. Well, it definitely was me. Um, you work hard, right? You're a hard worker. You show up every day. You try your best. You do affirmations. You're probably visualizing. You're going after your goals. You're probably motivated most of the times. Um, but no matter how much you accomplish, it's like you secretly still don't feel worthy of those manifestations that you truly want and those desires. And it's not even that you're conscious of your being unworthy. It's just you still just haven't achieved those, I guess, huge desires or those big manifestations, those big transformations. They just haven't. They just haven't happened yet. So I want to tell you why and what changed everything for me. So again, I'm Luther, and welcome to the Self-Image Alchemist. So let's just dive right into it. I want to tell you a quick story. So for the longest time, I didn't realize how little I valued myself. Right? I didn't. I didn't hold much value on myself. I really didn't. And I thought by working hard that it would like earn me worth. And that wasn't the exact thought. I think, no, that wasn't the exact thought. Basically, I just thought that I inherited a good work ethic from like my dad, because my dad, he works his ass off. So I thought maybe I inherited that. It was a good trait. I thought it was positive. I didn't think much of it. And there's nothing wrong with working hard. It is when you do so for like worth. And that's basically what I was doing. I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Like I did so because I got praise from it. And it finally made me feel good enough. I felt validated. But every time I was tired or I needed help or I wanted a break, you know, I was burnt out or I didn't want to give 100% for whatever reasons. My self-worth kind of just took a nosedive. Like it just took a nosedive, and that didn't feel good. And then it started happening more and more often. And it didn't just happen at one particular job. It was throughout several jobs, you know, and I held a good job making good money for many years before I would ultimately walk away. But in other jobs, I realized the same patterns was still playing out. Like, and then I started to notice, like, wait a minute, this is happening not just with work, but with relationships and other things in my life too as well. So that's when I started to realize, like, something's not off. Like, this can't be it. Like, what's going on? Like, this can't be it. You know, this cannot be it. But what I realized was I was basically outsourcing my worth, and even still at that point, I didn't quite understand what that meant. But that's ultimately what I was doing. Right? I was outsourcing my worth to results, to recognition, to money. You know, I equated work with worth. And that it just doesn't equal that. It's not equal at all, right? So, and with none of that can actually fill me up or make me feel fulfilled, that's kind of a truth I had to kind of like sit with. And it wasn't a fun, it was a pretty shitty feeling. I had to kind of sit with that for a while, and I was kind of like depressed and bummed out about it because, I mean, I didn't know what else to do. All I knew was working hard, and I thought that would like get me all the things that I wanted. Even when I learned about manifestation, I thought like, yeah, I got to do this, I got to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. None of it felt good. Some of it did, and I got some results, but not truly what I wanted. I just kept watching other people get what I wanted. You know what I mean? That made me feel some kind of way. Like, like, am I broken? Like, like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I get that? Why isn't that working for me? You know? I was, I just didn't believe I was worthy unless I was producing something. if I was fixing something, helping somebody with something, or I had to like achieve some physical thing, then I would feel like I was worthy. And it's crazy. It's kind of messed me up because I was like, I can't even like help someone with something else and feel worthy. That's still the wrong idea. And that's the idea that I would carry, you know. But the basically the real shift started to happen when I started to focus more on identity. And oh man, well, let me back up, because first of all, that kind of identity that I carried for a long time, it kept me in survival mode. Like I was always looking, the way I thought about life was just so I can stay afloat, just so I can survive. You know what I mean? And that ultimately just basically reinforced unworthiness, because if you're in survival mode, then you're basically telling yourself that you're unworthy of whatever it is that you want, because the only thing you're basically telling you that you're just unworthy, period. And that you're just here, that you gotta like fight and hustle and do all this stuff for scraps just so you can survive. And if you want to get ahead, oh man, you gotta damn near kill yourself to try to get ahead. How dare you try to get ahead? You can survive, but you know what I mean? That's the idea behind working for worth, right? You don't want to work for worth. That's the wrong idea about everything. So yeah, so the second I started tuning into like some of the things that I actually valued over people, like I say at my job valued, over the job's rules, over the job's regulations, over society's rules and regulations, over my partner's values and things of that nature. Instead of succumbing to all of them or submitting to someone else's values, I started to focus on what do I value? You know what I mean? Like, what do I value out of life? And the second I started focusing on that, and that's when kind of like the real shift started to happen. That's when my external world started to reflect my internal world, and I didn't even know that's what was happening. It just, to me, it felt like everything was falling apart. But there was kind of like this underlying feeling of authenticity. And that kind of like helped me through when things was falling apart. And I was like, oh, well, this feels good though. I'm okay with losing this job. I'm okay with losing this relationship or having to move from this place, because this feels good. It may not be where I wanted to be, but this authenticity, these values feel good to me. It fulfilled me. And for the first time, I didn't have to worry about being validated. You know, I caught a glimpse of what I will become. But at the same time, here's where most people get stuck. So when life does start getting better, but your identity is still kind of like rooted in, you know, not enoughness or still unworthiness, you'll start to like unconsciously sabotage the good things that are in your life currently. So it kind of almost puts you back in survival mode, because you will keep sabotaging things as they come up. And either that, or you'll start to compare yourself to other people just to validate what you're doing. So you'll try to compare yourself to someone. Oh, I'm doing more than that person. Oh, well, this person is doing more than me. Or this person has this thing and I don't have it. And we do this and we do the same thing. And then that's the trap that you can fall into. Don't compare yourself to anyone else's journey. I'm gonna just say that just loud and clear. So, but my biggest breakthrough with all of this, and this is what led me to my biggest breakthrough, is realizing that we don't manifest from intention. So you can have the most beautiful intentions to manifest the life that you want, but it's not going to mean a damn thing if you're still manifesting from the same old version of yourself, right? Because we manifest from identity, not intention. Intention helps. Intention is a very powerful thing, but if it's coming from the wrong individual, it's not. It's going to be reflective of that individual, not the individual's intentions. The individual's intentions will play a part, but it's going to be filtered through that person's identity. It's going to reflect that in every single aspect. Every single aspect. It's going to always do that. And that's when I kind of started to realize the importance of identity. And most of us are living like an identity or a self-image that we never even consciously chose. Like it's been like adopted by us and shaped by like pain, abandonment, family, rejection, what else? Trauma. I mean the list goes on. Religion, like a whole bunch of things, right? So the shift, I basically just had to ask myself this hardest question, and I asked this question, but it was over, I guess, years, right? I didn't actually ask myself this direct question, but because I went through it, I can ask you this question. And that question is, who am I? Simple, right? Like, who am I really? Like, who are you really? What I did, oh man, I went down a whole journey of learning about astrology, the personality types, enneagrams, the human design. I started small. Even before all of that stuff, I started like, well, what kind of like TV shows do I like? You know what I mean? Like what kind of like just little tiny little stuff, like just to get a grasp on like who I was. I had to really ask myself that question, and that's what I'm going to challenge you to do, because that's going to be one of the things that's going to really make you start to like change your self-image and manifest from a more authentic version of yourself. But when I asked that question and I started to answer that question or those questions honestly, it wasn't based on past stories. It was based on, it just kind of cut through all of that, if I remember it. And it was based on my soul. And everything started to align after I asked that question. Kept asking those questions because it was a journey. I wasn't like I asked one time and then, okay, boom, everything like, no, it was steadily. It was real steady. It wasn't instant, but it was steady. Like it was steady. So the program that I created, and this is kind of why I created this program, because it's kind of like what I learned about self-image and identity over several years, and I can probably tell it to you in a couple minutes and teach it in a few weeks. But it's definitely the reason I created this. It's basically my path. It was my path, my journey, but it can be your liberation from the old identity that you had. It isn't a I didn't go through a surface level like mindset shift. Like I didn't adopt the growth mindset. Like I've always been very optimistic and very growth oriented for the most part. So that wasn't it. I mean, you can be growth oriented or have a growth mindset and still feel unworthy. Hell, you might feel unworthy now and believe in manifestation, be the most spiritual person out there doing all the things, and you'll never achieve the things you truly desire because you still feel unworthy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's what it is. Like, I'm here to tell you, like, I wasn't broken, like, neither are you. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you at all. It's just something, you just been manifesting from the wrong self-image, from a false self-image, from an inauthentic self-image. It's literally just that simple. If you can change your self-image, you would change the outer image of reality. Reality truly is a reflection of your innermost self. And that's something that rings true for me more and more. Every day I step outside, I start to realize, like, holy shit, I am all of this. You know what I mean? Even the things that I don't like, I realize to some degree it is all me. You know, and that's a powerful position to be in, because you allow yourself to change what's going on internally, what's going on up here, and how you project yourself to the world, how you see yourself internally and project yourself to the world. And then your outer world is literally going to change. I mean, you guys heard all the cliche sayings about your inner world reflects the outer world. It's true. And this is why. And I love to show you more about that. So definitely hit like, subscribe if you want to go deeper into this in the future videos. And if you want to learn more about the program, link in description.